Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Watch some Munster movies with my friends.
Oh.
We were just talking about the Munsters. Kelly hasn't seen it yet. The Rob Zombie Munsters is a lot of fun if you haven't seen it. But you might hate it because apparently it's a coin toss.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Oh, I hate coin tosses.
Oh, he hates them. Werewolf by Night, great.
I refuse to participate in them. I can't wait to watch that.
You're going to love it, Kelly. I guarantee it.
I loved the comic. And I know it's not a lot. I know it's not necessarily like a straight, I'm sure they have a lot of Easter eggs and ties to it. I'm sure they've reworked it because the MCU does that pretty well.
They did something.
If you are
original.
A fan, yeah. But I feel like if you are a fan, even if they change it, they're going to give you things that reference back so that you can even be like, I like the way it used to be, but this is pretty cool. They referenced it, so I'm very psyched.
Yeah, it can stand alone.
There's a werewolf in it. Yeah. It has that in common with a comic book.
I had suggested we do that next week. We will have a special. Mystery special from our picker.
Yeah.
And then we'll have that maybe?
Yeah. I'm into
talk about it because I watched it and I'd like to talk about it.
Solar Opposites Halloween special is also pretty great. If you guys haven't seen
that was really good too.
Ooh, too much stuff.
There's a lot of good shit.
It's a good Crypt Keeper. There's a lot of good Crypt Keeper stuff.
And it's John Kassir, who I love to see that he did the voice for this character. He revoiced the Crypt Keeper as a new character on Solar Opposites. And it's friggin' hilarious.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There is so much. Oh, we went and saw Smile. Everybody here except for Kelly.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Not because I didn't want to. I just didn't.
It's good.
It's good.
I think the thing I remember most about that movie is the toddlers that were in front of us.
Oh my God.
Screaming and wanting to leave, and their mom wouldn't let them.
Like they were visibly distraught at points and asking to leave, I think. So yeah, Mother of the Year over there.
I mean, it's
those kids are. We're gonna hear from those kids in like 15 or 20 years, and they're gonna be like, "My mom used to take me to the horror movies, man, and that's when my horror really began. Like she wouldn't let us leave. We really wanted to. Now I like really fucking hardcore horror."
See, how many of us have stories of watching horror movies?
Right. Well, not to be a hypocrite
we're way too young, but. Also, I don't want to be in the presence of your frightened child.
I was just making a joke. They should not do that.
Yeah. But I watched them on my own like under the cover of night. I wasn't supposed to watch these.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
My parents took me to the. I saw Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 6, but honestly, I didn't beg to leave. And that's the difference here is when you're
Freddy's a fucking pussy. Okay.
Well, I mean, I was scared that night. I wouldn't admit I was scared because I wanted to go to the scary movie, so I'd have to act tough, like I was not scared of the stuff, so I could see it.
Right.
But this kid didn't want to be there, and they made him or her stay. And I just feel like that's like kind of cruel. But the movie is scary. It's not for kids, that's for certain. It's very dark.
I think what drives me nuts. I get it. I get it. Being a parent is hard. Like I'm not one, so I can't. I'm trying to be super empathetic, but it's clearly after this young child's bedtime that the movie even started. Have somebody watch them for you.
It's just not. It's just not responsible. Yeah. Honestly, I'm sure people. There are maybe someone's listening and is like, "Fuck you." I mean, I am a parent, so I have
You're
immunity.
allowed.
I can say whatever the fuck I want. I have double immunity.
You can't be voted out of the house.
Yeah. And so. I mean, it really is. Look, it's up to you when you take your kids to see a horror. But first of all, you're breaking social contract with everyone else in the theater. Now, some of us don't give a fuck about that, and that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but we'll judge you. Understand that, and someone might hit you. I don't know. It won't be me, but people are crazy.
Exactly.
Secondly, you really should. It's not good if you can't say, I know that I'm not going to be able to get out again till 3 weeks from now, and I really want to see Smile. Like, so badly do I want to see Smile in the theater. I need it. I need this. It has to happen. And I don't know if it'll be there again when this goddamn fucking albatross that fell out of me and has been dragging me down when I'm going to have a fucking break from them. So I'll just fucking take them with me and fuck everybody. Fuck them. I got to see Smile. Now, I mean, if that's your life, then whatever.
I'm trying to give you grace, if that's your position, but I'm not sure Smile was the movie to do it in.
Maybe get some noise canceling headphones for the kid.
It wasn't that good.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't care that the kids were like talking and wandering up and down the aisles because I wasn't really that involved in the movie. But I was just upset for the children.
Yeah.
Sure. Because they didn't want to be there.
Yeah, it reminded me of Hostel 2 when we saw that the same situation happened.
Yeah.
But the movie itself is pretty good.
Arguably worse.
It is a
worse.
Yeah. Hostel 2 is worse, but because it's human beings inflicting
and the kids get killed.
Misery on each other, and kids get killed. But Smile, very much derivative of
many things.
Well, in particular, It Follows.
And the Ring and the Grudge,
but I mean, even the cinemas, even the look of the movie is
Ringu.
Derivative.
It's funny you say that. I thought the trailer had kind of a similar vibe.
Yeah, the movie is very. I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I liked It Follows quite a bit. This movie is not quite that good, but it's pretty damn good.
You like it, I think, more than me, and Andy did not like it.
You did not like Smile at all, Andy?
There were parts of it I like. It was more frowny.
Okay.
I love Fudge Frownies.
Shit! Get out of my house.
I found out the lead actress, she's a Bacon. Kevin Bacon's daughter.
Yeah, Keira Sedgwick and Kevin Bacon's daughter. Yeah.
I didn't care for her.
You don't care for Bacon?
I love bacon. Who doesn't love bacon?
So
Cured bacon?
This bacon, this bacon was kind of like soggy and not done all the way. I like my bacon crispy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the role just required that you looked really tired, and she did.
It was a very one-note performance.
Put her against Nev
fine.
Campbell trying to do the same thing and scream, and somehow she pops. All right.
I mean, she had some good
not
moments.
Arguing with you anymore.
Scream had a lot more upswings. This movie is almost exclusively a downer. Like you can't have those. There's no opportunity to explore her range because she is literally ground into the dirt the entire movie.
She's just the embodiment of trauma.
Yeah,
it's all about trauma.
But I really like.
Is this
Kelley,
Debbie Downer the movie?
Yes. Well, no. There was a lot of fun moments. And
when they smiled. All the smiling people that made it, that was uplifting.
There was there were some good jump scares. I think it was fun watching it in a theater with traumatized children. I think that really
there were moments that I was actually like scary moments, but they weren't moments that would stick with me beyond like jump scares. I think those are just, and I'm also kind of over the horror as a metaphor for trauma. That's just lighten up, people.
I think we've all been through so much collective trauma.
You're gonna hate my Topicana question then.
Oh, great.
Oh, I will love it, I bet.
So Topicana, patreon.com/NOCLP. That's one of the shows we do there where we just kind of have, it's like an anything goes show. And I'm going to tell you my question here, but first I wanted to say that Jason Cretton from Horrorhound Radio and I have started a little side project. We are selling beepers. No, we started a.
Oh shit! You are.
We're in there, good ones.
I gotta talk to you after the show.
They're coming back, guys. I can feel it. Can I? Is it
Page me 911.
Is it the fun clear ones?
Oh.
I had a red clear one.
It was pink, sweetheart.
It was maroon.
It was pink.
Whatever.
I never had a pager.
What a maroon.
I didn't either. I went straight to cell phone.
Did you have 5 of them?
No.
We're not selling pagers though. It was a joke.
Okay,
right?
what are you?
We're talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th franchises, and we had this conversation where I was like, my favorite horror franchise is A Nightmare on Elm Street. And Jason was like, my favorite franchise is Friday the 13th.
Oh, it even like goes down by name.
Well,
like,
that's why we were like Freddy versus Jason. And we started a limited podcast called Freddy versus Jason.
Question mark?
Question mark. And it's on our Patreon. It's also on the main feed right now. The first couple episodes we're just putting out publicly, and then it'll be a Patreon exclusive starting with the third episode. But the song I wrote and performed a tribute to the movies, to the franchises.
To the movies.
To the movies, everyone. Hollywood.
It's a love letter to the movies. Don't make me sick.
So if you search on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever you get music, it's called Camp Freddy. I released the full version of it. I had a lot of fun with it.
Ooh,
It's on Spotify?
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I know you can save it on Spotify. It's definitely.
Okay.
It's definitely available as of right now on Apple Music and in the stores and all that stuff. But Spotify, there's always a little lag, but it should be there very soon. But if you just search Freddy Morris, you'll see my artist page. But the song is called Camp Freddy, and we are having the time of our lives, the two of us.
Freddie, you want to know something?
Yeah.
I don't have to search your name. Do you want to know why?
Why's that?
I follow you on Spotify.
Aww.
And I think everyone should who uses it.
I appreciate that. I'm making a lot of music. I'm not releasing a lot of music right now, but I'm making a lot of music.
So
it's coming.
With the butt trumpet.
I'm making skin flute, butt trumpet mashups. Sometimes I'll bang on some cans. I'll do a stomp thing. Sometimes I'll just fart a melody.
Isn't that what the butt trumpet is?
But then you fucking zappa that shit, and it sounds like some goddamn Queen. Just epic.
And then sometimes I put like boing sound effects in my music. Like somebody might hire me to write music, and I'm be like, I'm gonna pull out boing sound effects and throw it in this thing because you mentioned a cartoon, and I feel like that's what you want.
You want boings?
You want boings. You want goofy stuff. Okay.
Do you use the plunger on your butt trumpet?
Oh, to mute it?
Yeah.
Yeah, from when I want to do like Miles Davis style stuff, I do.
Do your cheeks inflate like
my butt cheeks?
Yeah.
Like
Louis Armstrong?
Louis Armstrong or Dizzy Gillespie. Yeah. Basically, I blew a cheek out.
Oh, yeah, Dizzy Gillespie. Yeah. I remember that.
So check that out, Freddy versus Jason.
Cheek out.
My Topicana is, and this is why I said Andy will hate it, but tell me about a moment of catharsis brought on by a piece of art. And that can be music, TV, film, whatever it was. And by catharsis, what I mean is like you confronted something in your psyche, in your soul that you didn't want to confront, but experiencing that piece of art made you confront it and have some catharsis. It's a deep question. It's a serious question. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it.
Damn it.
And that's all I have to say about that.
All right.
Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. Anything you guys want to talk about before we get into roulette?
Oh, rest in peace, Angela Lansbury.
That's
we
right.
have to.
She just died today, a couple hours ago. 96.
Right.
Good for her.
So, obviously, like, round of applause.
I'm not sad. I mean, she was 96, and like, I'm sure she was tired.
Yeah.
Good for her.
What was the roulette movie called?
I forgot. Horror in the High Plains.
Horror in the High Plains?
High Desert.
Horror in the High Desert?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So anyway, Angela Lansbury.
Was that the appropriate time to ask that, Freddie?
You mean during our tribute, our 21 gun salute to Angela Lansbury?
In memoriam.
Tale as old as time.
Like, think of the impact she's made on just our little dumb show. We talk about Murder, She Wrote all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't we all tried to do, what was that exercise video?
Oh, yeah. Well,
that Amy Sedaris parodied on her show?
I wonder what Amy Sedaris is saying right now about this, because
she's raising a glass of
I feel
champagne.
like that
she's probably there.
That was her
at the bedside.
Her self-care tape that she released in the 80s.
Yeah.
You can see her in a hot tub.
What do the Lansberries taste like? Lansberries.
Oh. So this wasn't a
Pop quiz, asshole. Shoot the hostage.
Pop quiz asshole. That's what Lansbury's taste like.
They taste like a pop quiz asshole.
Oh my god!
Like when your asshole gets real sweaty when someone pops a quiz on you.
All of you are the worst.
I loved her. She was great.
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury, not whatever else
She
we're
meant
talking
a
about.
lot.
Yeah, you guys just watched The Manchurian Candidate, didn't you?
We did.
Classy.
She was good. She was good.
Villainous.
She was Mrs. Lovett on Broadway.
Yeah. I was Mr. Leave It off Broadway.
And she was tall, too. I love tall ladies.
Yeah, she was.
6'8".
Is that true?
Is that how she died? She tripped and fell.
She's a giant. She had that disease where giants get it.
It was a little too windy.
That disease that giants suffer from where they walk into helicopter propellers.
Oh, they got to do something about
that a
the air,
disease?
like air traffic.
Yeah.
How'd you
We're
catch
losing
that?
too many giants.
Yeah. The real giant.
Oh my god, you are all idiots. But do you know how much I love you?
How much?
A lot.
Can you quantify that?
How many Angela Lansburys do you love us?
Oh. 10 billion.
Because she was 6'8". That's a lot of feet right there.
Do you ever think about the meat in your fridge? Like when you're doing other stuff?
So,
And you're just like, looking forward to eating that.
all right, everybody.
I
So,
got a bunch of ground beef in there right now. Just sitting.
Freddie's hungry. So, we're going to move on.
I'm always hungry anymore.
Ready?
I'm always angry. Yeah, sure.
You're like a fat Hulk.
I am.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
This wasn't a normal search and rescue because, you know, Gary didn't tell anybody where he was going.
The clock was ticking. They very much needed to find Gary as soon as possible.
Hey guys, up here at the top of the mountain, as you can see, there's a great view.
I wouldn't say what Gary was doing was hiking. These were multiple day like survival excursions.
Gary? I wouldn't say that what Gary does is hiking.
That cracked me up. I wanted to say I had something and I didn't want to lose it. I would like for your always hungry Hulk. That should just be called the It Makes Sense Hulk. It's not incredible that this Hulk is a Hulk.
It's a regular Hulk who's just hungry. And Andy had me laughing so goddamn hard during the when I was playing the trailer and everything. And then I thought Hulk smash burger because that's what I'm making for dinner. Oh god,
Smash
I can't wait.
burger's
Making
good.
homemade French fries, smash burgers. Anyways, horror in the high desert, Andy.
Yes, this was a recommendation from our friend
Gary.
Blayne Yogurt. Are we calling him Blayne Yogurt Store or is it Fruit on the Bottom?
It's fruit on the bottom.
Fruit on the bottom.
Blayne. Fruit on the Blayne. There's no way to make it any shorter.
Yes, and Blayne was worried like I wouldn't like this, but good news, Blayne, you did good.
Oh my god, Andy likes the movie.
You did good. You did good, kid. This is a found footage-ish movie, like a hybrid.
Okay.
It's like a lost person case, and they handle it like an episode of whatever show where lost people are talked about.
It kind of had that
You know what
like
I'm talking
Mungo
about.
thing going on.
Yeah, that's
like,
exactly. It's
Wherever finer missing persons are sold.
Like a
It is
Dateline or
very, like,
2020.
yeah, exactly. He lit up a room, guys.
Oh.
2020.
Everybody loved him. Gary,
Give
this
you the
guy.
shirt
Yeah.
of his back.
He would do anything for anybody.
Didn't have time for a girlfriend. He was too busy learning in school.
And it's pretty like accurate to how like those shows like it felt like a real show, so that's a plus.
It's probably because the people that make these all work on those shows. I often wonder because some of those shows, the reenactments are really, really good and spooky, and I'm like, I feel like these are all sizzle reels for people who are trying to move up into it. You know what I mean? Like, let's.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they even put in a lot of like B-roll footage of just the clouds and just the mountains, like you would in a typical lost person type show. It's
like a true crime mystery show.
It's just a lot of B-roll and stuff like that.
I like that the selling point is there's lots of B-roll in it.
Lots of B-roll.
It just felt. I'm just saying it felt authentic to.
I gotcha.
Those type
And
of
the
shows.
Oscar this year for most B-roll is
Scary Gary.
It's
Horror in the High Desert.
It was actually directed
Scary
by
Gary.
Beatrice Roll. B-roll.
I didn't get that.
My house.
That joke's too advanced.
You monster.
And it has that thing where like you watch some of these true crime shows, and there's some people that are interviewed like, God, what an annoying person. Or just
like on purpose, though they were trying to recreate.
I think so.
that.
Like the people they interview, they kind of stand out and take away from the case a little bit.
Yeah.
And like
Guapo just stood up behind you.
the missing person's sister plays that role. She's like, she takes focus away, which like I said is very authentic to how they handle these shows, because there's always that one person.
Is there a creepy host who's like way into it, like, and has no empathy?
It's not way. There's like
OMG.
there's no host. It's just like a regular documentary. So, and also it felt very real because they kept in the guy. He has like a speech impediment. He has like twains and
like
that. And,
yeah.
Oh, you mean he pronounced
list.
train? He pronounces R's as W's.
yeah, like that, and it's adorable.
It is adorable.
I don't
I
want
always
to
think that's
infantilize
endearing.
people that talk like that, but it's just
it's endearing.
yeah, it's endearing, and they could have like got anybody to play that role, but they got a person that speaks that way. I don't know if it's real or not, but they kept it in, and it made the person feel real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it made you care about the person, because even though it's a movie, like you get invested.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's perfect. It takes a while to get to where it's going, but when it gets there, it's really good.
Versus Smile.
Well, that never took off for me. So
Okay.
it's still on the airstrip.
I gotcha.
Like Kelley said, it's very Lake Mungo-y.
I've been wanting to revisit Lake Mungo
Yeah, me
lately.
too. We should do that. Oh my gosh.
So maybe we should also check out Scary Gary.
Why do you keep calling it that?
What's it called again? Murder in the High Desert?
Horror.
Horror
Munglako.
in the High Desert. Lake Magoo? Lake Magoo?
It's Mungo Gary.
Munglako.
Mung in the fun sun in the
That's
fun.
right.
Mung? I said it's Mungo Gary.
Mungo Gary.
Because the
In the
guy's
summertime.
name is Gary, and
So it's
combined with Lake Mungo.
So it's a recommend then.
Yeah, I will say, Lake Mungo, when you finally get to the end and you get that one, that's the end from the cell phone video footage, and it's so effective because it's that one little moment, and that's all they show you, but it really is scary and like really is effective. And there's a moment like this where they have his last. He goes in the mountains and he gets lost. And he's also like a vlogger, so he records everything that he does. So they find his last footage, and it's very like Mungo-y, where it's the moment he disappears. But what Lake Mungo did, they just showed you just a tiny little bit of the footage. This movie maybe shows a little too much.
Was he like, oh man, I wish I had my Casper mattress out here, and then he's killed?
It was like, I'm never going to eat one of those meals at
Blue Apron.
Blue Apron meals. Yeah.
What was that sound? Let me put on my Warby Parkers and get out there.
See if I can see more clearly with these. I have 3 different styles, and I'm still figuring out which ones I like. Anyways, I'm Gary.
It's scary out here.
I'm Scary Gary. You're watching Scary Gary. Who has time to cook?
Scary Gary used to walk around the mall. You guys remember that guy, Gary? Well, Andy probably doesn't. You guys remember Gary?
He
Amy
walked
probably
around
doesn't.
the mall. I remember
he was like a
Crazy
30
Willie, not Scary Gary though.
Yeah, no, this wasn't Crazy Willie. This is Scary Gary.
I like how Kelley went down the list of us. Like, Andy probably doesn't remember.
At the mall.
Amy doesn't remember.
I don't remember. What did he look like? What did he do?
He was. You guys probably none of you saw him and didn't realize he was Scary Gary because he hung out. When I hung out at Pop's Pool Hall, he hung out there. Except we were all between like some as young as 12, up to like 18, which in and of itself is weird. But this guy was like 30, and he was hanging out with all of us and talking to all of us. Not playing pool.
Oh, not even.
Just hanging out. None of us played pool, really, but we just hung out. And then he just hung out and talked to everybody and hit on girls. And then would spend all of his days walking around the mall and playing at the arcade and acting like he didn't know that we all thought he was weird.
Nowadays, that's just a man. That's just a regular man that does those things. It was a different age. Like,
I think it would be weird now.
No, it'd be weird.
It'd be even weirder now.
Like
you're not allowed to go hang out with 16-year-olds.
No. I mean, like, if you go to Dave & Buster's, you're going to see a lot of 30-year-old dudes playing pool. And
oh, well, that's an arcade meant for adults.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Was Pops made for kids?
Well, Pops, no, I'm talking about at the mall. Pops was a pool hall that was for everyone, but only teenagers hung out there and 2 old men. And then Gary.
Was one of them
Gary.
And then before all of us teenagers got there in the afternoon after school, he would go hang out at the mall in the arcade, the kids' arcade, not like a let's get some drinks and play air golf. Like, hey, I'm going to get change. I'm going to get $20 in quarters, and I'm going to try and shimmy up to kids and play the third player in Turtles with them and just talk and be weird.
So he's a pedophile.
Well, I don't know, but he certainly he had vibes.
Implied.
There were vibes. I can't even say it's implied.
The implications.
I never saw him do anything. I never saw him touch anybody.
Circumstantial evidence.
Yeah. But everyone kept their eye on him. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I think he was just not he might have been and just wasn't successful. Like he couldn't trick any of the people that I knew.
Did you hit it already, Andy?
Into going off with him.
I was just handing it to you so you could do it. But
he was too obvious.
It's gone. Andy did it. Andy did it.
Yes, let's recommend. Sorry, Blayne, for that aside.
About the
Scary Gary.
Child abuse.
Scary. But yes, I do recommend Horror in the High Plains Desert.
Horror in the High Desert.
I'll be watching whatever Amy's about to throw at me.
Well, yes, that applause you heard was Freddie winning. Who knows?
I did it backwards today because I was thinking I was having pool hall memories and it was fucking with my head.
So Freddie, you're gonna watch and review They Them.
Okay.
Oh, starring the Bacon.
The same girl?
No.
This movie looked very uncomfortable
Bacon,
to me,
right.
so I'm glad Freddie got this one.
It's on Peacock.
Okay.
A group of teenagers at an LGBTQ plus conversion camp endures unsettling psychological techniques while being stalked by a mysterious masked killer.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I'm in. I feel like we have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to horror movies right now.
Truly, because I was just thinking to myself how many that are out that I haven't seen yet and how many are coming out. And oh my God, it's an onslaught.
It's great. It's a good problem to have. Anything else you guys want to add before we move on?
I wonder how many actual serial killers put on a scary mask.
Yeah.
Probably very few.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer put yellow contact lenses in, didn't he?
I don't know.
That's a horrible thing.
I don't know. I haven't watched the show, but
either. I experienced it in real life when it was always on the news.
When he took you to his apartment.
When Jeffrey Dahmer was like, "You want to come over?" and I'm like, "Why are you in a pool hall with kids?"
Anyway,
but you're not really his type anyway, so that story doesn't track.
You'd be in more danger than I would.
He's not into husky boys.
Yeah,
no.
But I do wonder.
For weeks.
What'd you say, Kelley?
I feel like there probably are not too many. I'm going to put this crazy mask on my face and go hunt a bunch of randos.
Right.
I think that's
at least there's that.
That's a Hollywood thing.
That'll help you sleep at night.
He wore a sack on his head. They say
that doesn't count.
Yeah, that's not a mask.
Okay,
that's not a scary mask.
You mean like a
Black
mask
Phone type killer?
Yeah, that was a custom job.
I mean like a hockey mask or a fucking, all the masks they wear. They all wear goofy masks.
Like a Michael Myers.
Aren't we all
thing,
wearing
right?
a mask?
What about killer wears like a cucumber mask, like a face mask with cucumber slices on their eyes?
How are you going to keep them on there? They're just designed to lay on.
That's the scariest
So I guess
part.
he's into self-care, and part of his self-care is killing people.
Yeah, he's got his hair in curlers.
What you don't know is that's just he has pinned those cucumbers through his eyes.
That's the scary part.
You're
It's kind of like the button eyes on the Killer Nightbreed. I was thinking David Cronenberg.
All right, that's great. Let's talk about some Halloween TV specials.
Ted,
Let's do.
Engineer, who loved computers like a kid. And then one day,
fabulous idea if you can do it.
they loved him back. It's an experimental VIC high.
Wow!
He's given the miracle of birth
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
a brand new meaning.
Blink eyes.
Watch out.
It's a robot.
Fantastic.
It's a small wonder.
After Too Close for Comfort, Saturday on
Oh, Too Close for Comfort, a good show.
On Tubi. On Tubi right now.
Too Close
Monroe.
Yeah. I'll fucking love Too Close. I've been
too.
meaning to catch up with it since I found out that it was. But before I just have to say what amazes me partially about Small Wonder is this is a sci-fi idea that's been used over decades before this and since to explore the ideas of creating AI that what I mean,
right? And
they try to wring laughs out of this. They make the point somehow very strongly of what horrible, just how I can't stand people in real life and on shows who treat their robots or I just don't like people who are mean to Siri. Or who are just like, there's this thing, and I know there's people on both sides of this. There's people like me who are like, don't be mean to things that are inanimate,
right?
Because why? And then there are people who are like, it's just a machine. Vicky's just a machine. It's okay for them to boss around. She's just a machine. And I mean, there are people we would know. They're like, well, I mean, it's not really harmful. She's just a machine. So it really doesn't matter. But like, I don't like it, and I think it says something about people who think that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's you. I didn't say what it says about you, but it does say something.
You can't make something.
It says that I'm nicer than you.
Well,
and
right.
This family can't have it both ways.
It means that that's your default setting, Kelley, is to treat everything with some ounce of respect. Now, hey, there are things in my house, objects that I don't treat well, but I'm not mean to them.
Well, I'm not saying you have to be like, hello, Candle, are you having a good day today? But like there is again, it's sort of the when do things become I think anything that speaks to me
and it looks like a human speaks
or a living thing in any way, shape or form, or
she can eat,
I wouldn't
apparently.
I wouldn't. She can eat. She can throw things out of it. She can expel things from her eating platter or whatever is inside of her
cloaca.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I hate this fucking show with a passion.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why
I do too. It's horrible.
I picked it because I have no affection for the show or connection or I have no memories of the show.
Right.
But Freddie keeps saying, God, this is the worst sitcom ever.
It is.
And I was just curious to see
how bad it could be.
Yes.
You had never seen it before?
No, I used to watch it when I was a kid, but
I gotcha.
It didn't.
But that was kid brain.
It was kid brain, and this is geared toward kids, I assume.
Yeah.
Even as a kid,
even though it was prime time.
It was prime time.
It was a family show. Even as a kid, maybe Freddie had the same experience. Even then, I thought it was super low rent compared to everything else. It was on Channel 2. I mean, it wasn't on Channel 12 on like Wednesday nights with all the other shows. They put it on Channel 2
you want to hear
on like Sunday mornings.
Dude, it was like $300,000 an episode.
I believe it. It went 22 episodes a season.
It almost got 100 episodes.
All to Edie McClurg.
Edie McClurg was the best thing about the
they
show.
had.
Yeah.
And she left season 2.
Well, she's the best part of anything that she's in.
Vicky was actually a pretty good child actor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the performance is actually like...
Just her.
The mom and dad were terrible. I wanted to punch that kid in the face. Both of the other two kids.
Remember I always said last week that it was exhausting watching Perfect Strangers?
Yeah.
This is so much worse.
This was like running a marathon. I felt... I got a headache after watching this, honestly.
I'm so glad everybody had the same experience because I remember it pretty vividly from childhood. I didn't think it was because every so often people would bring it up and they'd be like, oh my God, that show's so disturbing. And I would think, oh, it's not that. Come on, it's a sitcom. But then today on a rewatch for the first time since I was probably 12, I was like, oh shit, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's just the worst thing I've ever seen.
But I don't understand the dynamic between the family and the daughter.
She's a slave.
She's a slave.
But at the same time,
She's a servant. She's a machine.
They treated her they acted like it was their daughter at times.
This is what I'm going to tell
affection.
you. It's white woman feminism is what they're doing.
And they can't have it both ways.
To your face, I'm going to be nice to you, but behind your back, I'm going to treat you like, you know.
Huh?
You know,
they
like,
treat her to her face pretty bad too,
Well,
and they blame everything on her. Like if they have to get out of a scrape, they're like, "Well, just say Ziggy."
And
Shut up.
And they're asking her to do things that they could easily do.
Yeah.
What's the point of having a Vicky if I got to do that stuff myself?
But the fact that they said, "Hey, Vicky, get the door," even though they're literally 2 feet away from it.
Yeah.
That's what she's for.
Does she ever have feelings? I don't remember.
Well, she was responding. She was like, I think she was like learning as she went along because she was like cracking jokes and like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's programmed into. I remember that. I think they explore the idea of feelings at some point, and I think you're supposed to get that maybe she like. It really is like this weird. Who I am fascinated actually by how bad this was, and the people who wrote this. I would love to go back and see because this is clearly very inspired by some, a certain kind of sci-fi. And it does like what you said, I think through the show, and I can't remember, I'm not going to go watch because I was so relieved when it was over. I don't know if I've ever felt like that about a half hour, not even a 24-minute program. I don't know if I've ever been like,
program, he said.
Oh, thank fuck, that's over. I really felt that way. And it's so gross.
It's
and everybody, the performances are, you're like, what is happening? What was it like in this room when they were shooting? Were they just like, do whatever? Well, and they're like, we got it.
The creator of the show, Howard Leeds, he worked on Different Strokes and the Brady Bunch, but then this is like,
well, it was a lot earlier.
Not a lot,
but a few years earlier.
I think the thing that really bugged me the most is that, well, first of all, the plot is nonsensical because it's Halloween. Something does a ghost get in her?
No, she just accidentally the power goes out.
She got a power
and she
surge?
gets electrocuted, and then she.
But what did they capture at the end with the paranormal psychologists? They captured something, right?
Oh no, she pretended.
No, she joked with them to get them to leave.
Oh,
have you seen the movie Pulse with Matthew and Joey Lawrence?
So this show is too smart for me because I didn't get that.
Well, it was a dumb plot. It was deeply stupid, but also
it was the barest minimum of effort.
This concept of this man building this little girl robot and then putting it in this little I'm like a little maid outfit, and that's what she wears every day.
Do you think he bought it or he made it?
I don't know. No, the outfit is made like I'm cleaning your house. I'm made.
No, I'm saying that. Do you think the guy who created her
did he fabricate that outfit for her?
His wife.
The actor's
because you can't buy that.
Yeah, the actor
cannot buy that.
The actor's mother petitioned to have the costume change as the show went on, and also to
they did, I think, later.
Did they? And then
I think she started wearing regular clothes in like either the last season or later seasons.
Man, but it took him a couple of years to get around to that.
It took him almost the whole time. I think as a kid, I even was disappointed
when she wasn't wearing a maid uniform anymore.
Well, it changed the show. Like I didn't understand why, because I didn't at the time. I didn't think anything about her wearing the same clothes because everyone on cartoons wore the same clothes, and that was about where I was.
Yeah.
This to me was equivalent of a cartoon, so I didn't think about the outfit then. Now, I for sure do, and it's extremely weird.
It's very weird. Was the concept like my wife? She gave birth to this boy, and he wrecked her uterus, so they had to yank it out. Now she can't have any more kids, but she always wanted a little girl. So I'm gonna put her a robot.
That's like if you took this and made it serious.
Here's the rewatching. Here's the rewatching you do, Amy.
That's the Ex Machina version. Terrible. It's just I just kept wanting. There is a sci-fi horror story like that could be with just the tiniest of tweaks. You take that laugh track out, you're 80% there.
Kelley, there is an episode of Night Gallery. I think it's Night Gallery. That is basically that.
Yeah.
It's where a guy creates a slave robot and kind of how everything turns out later for him.
Yeah. And there's a shit. There's a lot of good sci-fi that explores that. This is just such a weird, like, because it's, as it should be, it's always presented as kind of this like really ethically dodgy, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And then this is played for like, this dad is awesome. He made himself a robot daughter, but he's going to treat her like a servant.
Yeah. He gave her a growth chip. That's how they explain her getting bigger.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Women were treated as servants for
this
lives.
But this is a very telling show.
Well, as off-putting as the robot was, like, this sounds mean, but I was so off-put by the annoying neighbor girl too.
Harriet.
Oh, Harriet always drove me fucking nuts.
Oh, everybody.
God, that hair.
Hair. I remember that hair.
That was just like, they were like, hey, we want you to play this. And the actor, she was so good. She was like, I got this. Yeah. And she was like probably a tiny adult. That was probably a 37-year-old woman.
She was our high school art teacher. Do you remember that? We had a high school art teacher that looked just like Harriet from Small Wonder, only she weighed like 200 pounds more and was the same height.
But what an annoying show. Everybody on the show was annoying.
Yeah.
It was shrill.
Yeah.
And do you know how they were going to handle her getting older?
Freddie
just said the growth chip. They had one.
I know, but no, like in terms of the way she looks. Is she going to get?
Yeah, the growth chip changed her. Yeah, he had. I think the idea was that he would switch out stuff.
He'd switch out like bodies, like coverings.
Yeah. Oh my god!
If you go back, if you want to be really disturbed,
titties, like and then bigger titties, and then bigger.
We never got to it, but that's If you go back to one of the first episodes, because this actually did freak me the fuck out when I was a kid. It might be the first episode or early on. You see her in the suitcase. Like he disassembles Vicky.
I remember that.
So
and he opens the case.
It's like disassembled her.
It might have even been in the credit sequence from that first season because it is disturbing.
It's really disturbing.
It looks like he cut up a little girl.
It looks exactly like he cut up a little girl. It really, 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 really does.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
and they kept
what a thing.
And they kept her in a closet, right?
She slept in the closet.
So she's kind of like Harry Potter.
But Harry Potter had a bed. She stood in like it
was like in the brothers' room, wasn't it?
A wardrobe. Yeah, Harry Potter had under the stairs at least. He
had some space.
When
he
do you
could
address
take like 2 steps to the front and back?
When your teenage son has a girl in his closet all the time.
They could. That's a huge part of the show is explaining Vicky.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, I meant like what's going to happen with that kid when he hits puberty.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I know.
Oh, some shit's gonna go down.
That's the dark part.
Did this family?
That's what she's for.
Like when they had guests over, did they keep the fact that they made her do everything undercover?
I don't know.
No, they fucking make her do shit in front of people, but they didn't want to know she was a robot.
And did all the visitors not question why she wore the same clothes every single day?
Mm-mm. It may have been
sitcom logic.
It may have been pulling out strings too. Why can't I pull out strings?
It may have been addressed again, like at some point early on, because I feel like they said that she came from somewhere else or she had been staying with relatives. Yeah, well, it's something like that, and maybe that's why.
Did they?
I don't remember.
Did they send her to school too?
Mm-hmm. At one point, I think she does go to school. Otherwise, the writers would have gone fucking crazy trying to write everything in that little house.
It's not even a good 80s house either.
Well, let me say, 85, we did not put any demands whatsoever on sitcoms in 1985. Like, if you go back and look, like it was a barren landscape of awful sitcoms. But movies were great then. But sitcoms, TV was not the golden age of television. It was some real fucking garbage, man.
And this is the bottom of the barrel.
This is pretty fucking close. If it's not the bottom, it's right there. It's so bad.
What's next on the list?
Well, all right.
In the neighborhood,
from the hit movie The Real Ghostbusters, together Saturdays this fall on ABC.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I think you better call.
I kept waiting for him to say right after the Snorks.
Oh, only if only. I was so excited. I didn't know TRG, as I like to call it, because was on fucking Amazon Prime, man.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole series?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
baby.
So I don't have to go to YouTube and look at their crappy copies anymore?
I meant to tell you.
No.
Sorry. I'm a bad friend.
Either are.
You're not a bad friend.
I just forgot to tell him. I forgot to warn him.
You forgot to tell Andy.
I did.
Well, did you not check Prime? When you just go look for something, what do you do, Andy?
I go into my Roku search engine, and this did not pop up. I just assumed that this wouldn't be streaming anywhere because a lot of things I want on streaming or not.
So you just
I go
stopped
straight to
looking?
YouTube. Yeah,
I get you.
YouTube is always like kind of my go-to for things that are kind of hard to find. Hard to find.
Hard to find it. I hardly know it.
But this is the most Halloween thing I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so badass.
It's really good,
It
too.
beats you over the head with the
what was the
Halloween, and
episode?
that's a good thing.
What was the episode again?
Oh, the
When Halloween was forever.
Forever Halloween or something. I forgot.
When
But
Halloween was forever.
yeah, they're so Halloweeny. My God.
This was a great episode.
Samhain.
I love his little Irish accent too.
And he's like, guess what? I'm here and I'm going to make it Halloween all the time.
Sort of a precursor to your Jack Skellingtons.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about this show,
do their thing.
the thing about Ghostbusters, like all of the Ghostbusters universe, it's funny, but they also throw in the horror thing.
This is what I want to say. This is what I wanted to bring up. I know I've said it 10,000 times on the show. But I think that the best thing they could do if they want to keep the quote unquote franchise going is just do another cartoon series of the real Ghostbusters in this time period, or it doesn't even have to be in the 80s, but like with those characters, the original crew. You don't have to explain why they're not old men. You just you make it the same people, different voices, and you just do this because this was the best expansion of the Ghostbusters universe that there was. And like Andy said, I mean, every episode is like at least a little spooky and creepy. They're all kind of adult.
You gotta keep the horror in it. And I feel like this would be a great introduction for kids because this is where I learned about vampires and werewolves and all types of I've learned about banshees from this.
All the spooky oogies?
Yeah, and like ghost stories. This like it's just a great introduction. And like Ray actually gives us a freaking history lesson on Samhain.
They do it all the time. Yeah, it was a really good cartoon, really good show. Really
good. Elsa didn't agree with a lot of what you said. She's a bigger fan of the Ghostbusters with the gorilla, but she's a dog.
So I guess
I get that.
The plot of this episode is there's this artifact from Ireland that the spirit of Samhain is Samhain. Is that pronouncing it right?
Either way is fine.
Yeah, his spirit is trapped in, and there's an uptick of spooky happenings going on.
And, a lot of haunting. Yeah. They're hard to deal with.
Yes. And Sam, I was going to call him Sam.
Yeah.
Is released from his captivity, and his goal is to make Forever Night and Forever Halloween.
The TV series Forever Night.
Forever Night
with the vampire detective with the cross earring.
Yeah, I'm my sister-in-law loved that program with all her heart.
That's what Sam Hain came to Earth for, was to make that.
Bless
show.
her.
We need to stop him.
We need to stop him. He's evil.
We don't want to unleash that awful TV series on.
We don't. It wasn't good. It's okay.
Yeah, and what I like about this episode is how it affects everything. It turns like the people at the diner into like skeletons. It's still a skeleton waitress.
Yeah.
Well, I love what's great about, again, the writing on this cartoon was very mature, and they cover things that I feel like most again sitcoms at the time wouldn't have bothered to worry about these details. Like there's a moment where they say this is happening everywhere in Africa, like they list all these places around the world to like drive home the fact that there are other places other than the United States.
Yeah, and the news
it's affecting them all.
Yeah, and the news comes on and he gets turned into a clown.
Yeah.
And he's just going about his clown news business.
It was the writing was really strong. They had about 5 or 6 regular writers, I think.
Yeah. Michael J. Straczynski, right? Michael Straczynski.
The guy who created Babylon 5 wrote this.
Yeah. He wrote a lot of the episodes.
Yeah.
Wrote a lot of Spider-Man too.
Yeah. You mean
the comic or the show?
The comic.
Gotcha.
He may have written for the show too. I don't know.
The art I thought was really fun. Really cool. I loved Sam. He was so badass. But what was kind of funny is he'd have all these like crooked like teeth when he would like have his mouth open. But when his mouth would close, he'd just have one yellow corn tooth sticking out.
It was like candy corn?
Yeah. And then, but his mouth would be open and he has all these, and then it's this one little yellow corn tooth.
You want to hear something interesting?
I was fascinated by it every time he was speaking. What?
Forever Night, 70 episodes, not a single Halloween episode among them. It's a show about a vampire cop.
Did you think it was too obvious?
They're all Halloween episodes, is what they would say if you tweeted this.
You're right.
Yeah.
Tweet at Forever Night. See if anyone responds. If it's just a haunted, it's just a Twitter that was never set up. It exists, but it was never set up.
It was
no one ever. There's one post. It's the show.
Somebody's sitting on that username.
They're just waiting,
just
for
waiting
the Renaissance.
for people
There's
to
one
discover
tweet
that show again.
Yeah, from like 2010, and it's just like, we're here.
Yeah.
See if they have a hashtag.
Hashtag Forever Night. Bring back the night. Take back the night.
In this episode, I felt scared for Slimer at one points because he was being threatened by all the little ghoulies.
He's so cute in the cartoon.
Yeah. And they were stretching him out. I was like, oh no, not Slimer.
Did you say stretching him out?
Yeah, they were pulling at him. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought of something different when you said that.
Dear God, Freddy Morris.
Poor Slimer.
They were goat-seeing him.
They were gaping him.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about this episode, they do a lot, but I always love I love the approach to ghosts. Like, they kind of treat everything as like, it could look like anything, and it could still be a person's spirit. It might be some other thing. You don't know. It doesn't matter.
It kind of is inspirational as far as the art. Like, while I was watching it made me want to draw.
It's beautiful, and it always is. And but this one was packed with, like, they just were like, all right, guys and ladies, go crazy, come up with as many weird little things. And it kind of is like, I think they were like, also try to match the intro, because there's a scene in the intro that is kind of a higher a more well animated version of this, except it has the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in it. But I love all the little like ghosties and goblins.
They're all gooey.
They're gooey and hairy, and they're kind of cute, but they're still scary. And this show is just basically perfect.
It is.
Sky's the limit too. The creative team, they just let them do whatever. And I love the story. I don't know how much this is really true, but that this was like a passion project for the people that created it when they started it, and that they shopped it and then it got picked up. So I think that's a big difference. Why it's so good is that it wasn't like created for cynical reasons in any way.
Right.
And this is probably an aside, but it had the best toys too.
They did have great toys.
Oh, they did have the best toys. Fucking great.
I was just reminded of the firehouse I never got.
Oh, the firehouse was so good.
What about the Ecto one that had the Ecto 2 in it?
I had a regular Ecto one, and I had all the figures that had the little proton packs with the little lasers that you spun.
Yeah, the plastic laser.
Yeah. But I wanted that firehouse so bad.
Didn't somebody have that at a Horror Hound?
Oh, there's always Ghostbusters toys at Horror Hound.
I remember I got the werewolf from Welcome to Lupusville at Gold Circle.
Welcome
it might have been Hills.
Lupus.
It might have been Hills at that point, but the same spot. It might have been Gold Circle still,
where
too.
the toys are.
Yeah, let's get it exactly right, Kelly. It's very important.
I need to be accurate for the listeners.
We got
Amy.
two more to talk about, so we're going to move
You got
on.
2 more to talk about.
Whoa. You did.
Trapped in a men's room, and all I have on is a Spider-Man suit.
Hot. Who is this?
It's a modern family Halloween, so frighteningly funny.
Check it. I'm a scary black cat.
The only person that costume scares is me.
We can only show you a slice. because you just might die laughing.
I'm your rock. No! Son of a...
ABC's Modern Family, all new Wednesday, 9, 8 Central on ABC. Laugh on.
So next to Roseanne, I think the sitcom that handles Halloween the best in the history of sitcoms is Modern Family. In my opinion,
pretty great.
Yeah. They do a great episode starting season 2 every year. This is the first one that we talked about. I think it's just called Halloween.
Yeah.
And this is just veteran comedy writers. Elsa's woo. She loves Modern Family. These veteran, shush your face. Here, I'm gonna make a fart noise in your ear. What do you think of that?
She's so pissed
What do
at
you think?
whatever.
She's probably thinking about Small Wonder.
She is. She's still mad. But like some of the greatest comedy writers have been in their writers' room over the years, and they just pumped out some awesome shit. They pumped out some real great turds.
So did you guys watch,
I laughed my ass off at this episode.
So sorry,
Really good.
everyone.
Did you guys watch Modern Family all the way through?
Freddie
did.
did.
Okay.
I did not.
I did not catch the last, I think, 2 or 3. I think the last couple seasons, whereas I was transitioning to my new life. So
I just want to say, like, I started watching Modern Family like back when it was on, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, but then I realized I don't like these characters, and this cut and every episode like they kind of stay the same. There's like growth in characters.
Well, that's your typical.
Yeah,
sitcom.
I know, and that's probably why I stopped watching, because they're just annoying people to me.
Yeah, the show stopped doing anything for me, but I recognize that it was a really well done.
Yeah, I think it was
sitcom.
entertaining, but I feel like
yeah.
But they are biting on Roseanne's nuts on this episode.
I think that they go beyond what they did on Roseanne. I mean, again, it's a single camera versus a 4-camera.
It's the same concept.
But what I love about Modern Family.
Well, they did that on
writing-
Tool Time too.
Yeah, they did, but on
Or
Modern,
whatever that was called.
I think the
Home Improvement. We all were just like, yeah,
we know what
it's
you
fine.
meant. I love the plate spinning. You know what I mean? And what I mean was like they're so good at having storyline A, B, C, and D. They give you like normally you have a storyline A and B in most sitcoms, but in 22 minutes on Modern Family, they would have every small unit within the big family had a storyline, and they always came together with and the jokes always paid off. It was a lot like Arrested Development, where they would set up all these jokes in the first act that would pay off in the third. It wasn't just about writing the scene. And
Agreed.
To me, that's what made it so great. And in the way they handled these Halloween episodes, where I think they do a great job of kind of painting who the characters are. This is early on with Cam is making about some unspoken trauma from Halloween that was horrible for him that he doesn't want to talk about, but it's all he'll talk about, you know?
Oh my God. Fucking, oh God, what is Jesse Tyler Ferguson's name with that show? I can't think of it.
Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, he's Mitchell.
Mitchell's whole subplot with the Spider-Man costume. He wears a costume to work because these idiots tell him that they all do it on Halloween and nobody did it at his last job. So he's excited. And then he gets there and it's like only the douchebags who told him to do it are the only two, and everybody thinks they're just morons. And so he has to figure out how to get around having this goddamn Spider-Man costume. And it is just one of the funniest, like, fucking processes to go through that I was just him in the bathroom at Stall getting his clothes all toilety and then calling it toilety was so funny. I forgot how much the show even like, and at first the first like couple of moments I was like, this is a lot more sitcom-y than I remember. Like the whole thing with like Haley's costumes being too like, you know, revealing. And I was like, I don't remember it being this. Now, of course, because it's a sitcom. They're trying to hit these beats, and I got it through the rest of the episode. But it was like shortly after that, I just started laughing, like belly laughing the whole time. I was like, oh, that's right. Even when it's like corny, it does make me fucking laugh really hard.
Well, you think it's going to be a throwaway bit where it's just about her dressing too sexy. Again, this is what I was saying about them. They don't just write to the scene. it progresses. It turns into a joke in every act as she thinks that she's dressing more appropriate when really she's still just doing the same thing over and over again, where she's Mother Teresa, but she's in like a form-fitting mini dress. It's
sexy Mother Teresa.
Yeah, sexy Mother Teresa. But like that cracked me up. The bits with Gloria I thought were really great, and I think really showed off like how great of a performer Sofia Vergara can be.
Oh, that was perfect. That was her doing the American English. And I felt bad for her. I'm glad that like I like it. They even managed to really make you feel like at the end when everybody's kind of telling her all the shit she says wrong, like you're like, why don't y'all shut the fuck up? But then she tells them kind of shut the fuck up.
It was like bullying.
Yeah.
And she's just doing her best.
Well, and
it's kind of racist.
It makes me feel like a lot of that may have actually even come from a real place for her. I think, because a lot of people are like, she doesn't really talk like that. That's absurd. And she's like, that's how I talk. And like, she had to keep telling people, this is exactly how I talk. I'm not doing a bit. And then I think she just was getting sick of it the more famous she got. And I think it's a really great scene. I think I think Time, obviously the show was a huge success. It was massively popular, but I do also think it will stand the test of time the way a lot of sitcoms don't, because the writing is so strong. I love it.
I guess like part of the reason I stopped watching is because I couldn't. It got too sitcom-y for me at times. When the idea is that it's kind of grounded because there's a documentary crew following them, and it's kind of grounded in a way because they're supposed to be like real people.
You were thinking about it way too much.
Yes, but like I said, the characters just got their annoying parts kind of stood out to me more.
Oh, I see. I enjoy it. I think if you're self-conscious, you're going to see yourself in one of these characters in a negative way, because they're all deeply flawed and goofy people, which to me just makes them more real. Like,
well, I think that.
Go ahead, Kelley.
No, you go. No, you.
No, I think I said what I was saying.
Oh, well, no, then I'll go. I mean,
bye.
I'll go.
See yourself out.
But no, I think that's the point, is that it's supposed to, I mean, it sounds corny, but I think their maybe mission is to show like these people are deeply, deeply flawed, and they kind of get on each other's nerves, but ultimately they all love each other and are a tight knit, unit, even though they fucking are tired of each other all the time. And like,
none of them do really great outside of the family unit without, like, whenever they leave the
then that's dysfunctional.
The support system. No, what I'm saying is like the comedy, I think a lot of times that's so great is they'll leave the family when they venture out, but it's always okay because they come back into the warm embrace of this family of misfits. And I really like that.
I do think they knocked it out of the park with some of the Halloween decorations and costumes. I quite enjoyed Claire and Phil's look. I thought the gargoyle was good. Ed O'Neill's a gargoyle. So I thought that was very good.
It was I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andy.
It was so weird to see these kids grow up too.
Oh, to see them so little in this season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this was their, as they got older, the changes were so extreme that like other sitcoms, they kind of like look like the same people.
Yeah, they do. These kids legitimately, like, I do feel like it was mostly probably a good experience for them on this show. I don't think it was like probably what Vicky's experience on Small Wonder was.
Vicky.
I will say I do like, I love the sentimentality of the show, which is something I know some people just roll their eyes at, but I love the family came together for Claire at the end because it was the one thing that she was looking forward to. And nobody gave a shit until she pointed out that it, that's what it is. And everybody stepped up their game.
That's what I like about it. Like, I like when I watch a sitcom, like I'm not saying the only way I watch a sitcom is to feel good about the people at the end. Like, there are plenty of sitcoms I watch that is not the case. But I do like in a family style sitcom like that, I do like seeing the support, and it feels good. So I agree. I think it was fun. Just a nice, sometimes I like things to be nice, you guys.
Yeah.
I did like how hard they lean into the Halloween aspect of it. I mean, it's Halloween.
Yeah. Every season's like that.
Yeah. They don't just they're not like, oh, it's our Halloween episode and everybody's
exactly.
dressed like a fucking princess. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's not like what they did with like Small Wonder, where they just
Right.
thrown like in this
name
weird
only.
ghost plot.
Well, we got one more to go, and we're running long.
It's
so
a
I'm gonna
high
go ahead and
no.
hop in now.
Single wound to the abdomen.
It's okay, sir.
Oh my God, we're losing him.
Never move an injured person.
Okay, sorry.
I became a firefighter to help people. I stayed a firefighter because, damn, I look good in the uniform.
Come on, look at me. When I saw my ass in the mirror, I was like, damn, I would tap that.
So this is from the Super Troopers guys. It's called Tacoma FD, a show that I feel like I didn't know about it until I was doing research.
Yeah, I never hear about the show at all.
It's great.
Yeah. So I didn't know about it until we were gonna have that panel with the guys.
Yeah, but this episode just made me smile so much.
Yeah.
It just made me
Same.
happy. It was like watching a live action version of Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, well,
It was a lot like that. Yeah.
This one's called Nightmare Manor, and it's theoretically, I guess it doesn't fit exactly that it didn't air in October, but I don't care. It's definitely a Halloween episode.
Freddie breaking the rules. We'll discuss this later.
And Kevin Heffernan, who plays the chief, wrote and directed this episode. With the writer's room, of course. And it's just about a fire at a haunted house.
And they're firemen.
And how I said
And
like
women.
On Modern Family, I found all the characters annoying. This
Yeah.
one, I found them all so lovable.
Well, yeah,
They are.
They're
Yeah,
like little
that's-
boys.
Yeah, that's why it just made me happy.
Yeah, it's fun. It has that spirit. The show, if you've never seen it, it's firemen in a Tacoma fire department, and it has a lot in common with shows like Parks and Rec, where they don't get along with the cops. They have the rivalry, which is mostly true of all the firemen I know, that they don't like the cops. So that plays true. But it's just a lot of like fun pranking your friends type of comedy.
A lot of ball busting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the stuff you do with the people you're closest to that you really trust.
But not in a mean way. This was so like lighthearted.
That's what I was saying when I saw Super.
Kind of Super Story.
Yes, where it these guys somehow
Super
make
Story-ish.
shit so fucking funny, but it's not mean.
Yeah.
So what I thought was great about this episode is they're all kind of sitting around talking about things they're afraid of, and all of those fears get realized for them later at the Nightmare Manor.
Yeah.
Which is
the
a
whole
cool
Silence
ass
of the
haunted
Lambs.
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
Silence of the Lambs bring in was really real fun. Just fun all around.
Yeah.
Lots of little reference. I mean, very deliberate.
David Urey as Buffalo Phil.
Buffalo Phil.
In the Silence of the Rams scene.
Because they're called to a fire at a haunt, and they go and they're in the scene, which I thought, what I thought was great. Like two of them, okay, this is me. All right, Amy, this is just a dumb sitcom. Why did you have this thought? But I was like, two of the firemen are supposed to be evacuating the building, and they get some people out, but then they just stop. There are so many haunt actors still in this building, still doing their job, and they could die.
Well, they're trying to get them out, but they won't cooperate.
No, that's what I was going to bring up. I love that none of the haunt performers will just get out. Like the fire department is like, get out of here. They just keep fucking with them.
I think they know that it's just burnt popcorn, which is what it turns out the reason it's called. And I think nobody gives a shit. And they're never high stakes really on this show.
Everybody, it seems like on the show, is a cartoon character. So they're not going to take these threats seriously.
Yeah.
Buffalo Phil.
It definitely fits, like you were saying about it being kind of like a Bob's Burger. It feels, you could animate this show in that style.
Yeah, that's like
it would
even
fit right
the
in.
the jokes were very Bob's Burgery, all the puns and everything.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The characters were like cartoony people.
It was canceled way too soon. I love the relationship with the chief, and one of the firemen is his daughter, and their relationship I think is really fun. And I haven't seen every episode of the show, but I started watching it because I fell in love with it just incidentally, watching it for research, and then I couldn't stop. And
it's really taken a toll on our marriage.
You've got a problem, Freddie.
He won't stop.
Well, I just got to the point where they introduced the daughter character, and this is further along. And but they have really a great back and forth. I think is really kind of cute. They're very much like the same character, but like she's kind of the younger version of him, and the way they talk to each other is really funny. Like she didn't know what Silence of the Lambs was, and the whole bit with the lotion in the pit.
That was like my favorite part because put the lotion in the basket.
Yeah.
It's because he wanted the lotion because it was the good stuff.
It was the good lotion.
The fact
But
that
I
he
also
wants to steal the lotion because it's good stuff, just to do that bit. He didn't want to do the bit because of just the quoting it. He wanted He actually wanted the lotion.
They earned it. They earned the joke.
Not just that, but he did want to do it. That's what I love. Like the actually taking the lotion was like the secondary punchline because he gets it down there and then he's like, I can't believe you've never seen this movie. And so like you're like, oh, he was doing the thing, and then he's like, but seriously, put that lotion in that basket. I want that.
Yeah, and they adopt a Dalmatian in this episode, which
they try to.
They try to, and the Dalmatian turns out to be the big hero of the day.
It's a beautiful dog.
It's a beautiful dog. I love the actor Eugene Cordero who plays Andy,
or Rutherford from Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah, he's on Lower Decks. He's so great. I love that he just seems to be scared of everything, but like he ends up.
Well, that character hit a little too close to home for me.
Do you feel like
a guy named Andy that has intense stage fright?
Yeah, he threw up on the news people. Yeah. I love that when the Han actors are coming out, they can't tell who's really injured and who's just in makeup. I thought that was a pretty funny bit too. But I recommend checking it out. It's on True TV if you have it.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Was a delight.
What do we do next time?
We started from the bottom. Small Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're here.
At the very bottom.
Yeah.
Small Wonder is the very, very bottom.
Yeah.
We found it.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it. And then we led you into the light.
Let's never talk about it again.
I know it was awful and I never want to see it again, but part of me wants to watch some more episodes to see how bad it can get.
Well, you indulge if you want.
That's self-abuse.
I told Alise, and we were like, maybe we're going to like hate watch a couple of these just so you can really, really get.
Oh, she didn't watch it growing up?
Oh, yeah, I think so. But I barely remember. Like, it's kind of like all of us. Like, there's no way that you can really wrap your head around it until you experience it at our age.
Yeah.
Well, that was that. I think we should watch Werewolf by Night.
I'm into it.
And then I'll reach out to a picker.
So if you want a chance to pick one of our main attractions, just sign up for our mailing list at notlp.com.
I'm all for
Dracula.
I'm already watched it, so no homework for me.
I'll watch it again. Who cares? I love it. I'll set up the projector outside if it's nice enough.
At the end of every show,
sounds like a threat.
We always say hello to our Beelzebubs. If you go to patreon.com/notlp, you can give us your money if you're into that sort of thing.
If you're into it.
Alise, we were just talking about you.
I love you, and you're, I think, home now, and I'm going to come see you.
That's nice. Lynn Walsh.
Lynn, you are from a Lynn down under. I probably won't be able to visit you tonight.
No. Because I think it's already tomorrow night there.
No promises, but I don't think I can make it.
Alyssa. Branan and Emily. Jeffel. Dustin.
Did you recognize the villain in Werewolf by Night? The lady who ran the Hunters Guild? She was Fraser's agent.
Holy shit.
She was Fragent?
Yep. She's so great.
Iona Goodwin.
I got a great one. You should see it.
Dr. Brian.
It's right here.
Can you believe that shit about that lady? The Fragent? Bill or Jerk Bitch Boat. Whatever you're feeling like.
Whatever you're feeling like.
I don't like the way you're looking at me, Freddie. Bill Farner.
I'm thinking about hamburgers.
Blake.
Is she a big
like
hamburger right
Scooby-Doo
now?
and Shaggy?
Sometimes I think about hamburgers.
Fruit on the bottom, Blayne.
He's in, he went to Hollywood Horror Nights.
Good for you.
Oh, well.
He's having a great time.
In California? Or,
yeah.
Jordache jeans.
So tight. Nothing comes between me and my Jordache.
That's something different. Paul. Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Jeremy Gauthier, Gamora.
Woof woof. She knows what it means.
Ernie.
Hi, Ernie.
Dave Siebert.
Hi, Dave Siebert.
Michael Burns.
Mike Burns.
Michael Soothes.
Finally. That's ridiculous, Kelly. Monica.
Can you tell I had a long
There
day?
you go. We did it, gang.
Yes. Good job, everyone.
So, stay alive for another week.
Do your
Stay
best.
alive. Go check out Small Wonder just to believe.
Just to believe.
Just to believe us.
See for yourself.
It's horrible.
That's what that Tim Capello song is about.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead, and Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London